Well, hey, entrepreneurs, when you have multiple platforms, how do you decide if you're going to do one YouTube channel or multiple YouTube channels, one Instagram account or multiple Instagram accounts? I actually just got this question from Marie literally 5 minutes ago, and I wanted to take a look at this and answer this for all of you who might be in the same position as Marie. So I checked in with her, and she has graciously allowed me to read her question on air for you. She says, "Hi, wasn't sure the best way to contact you. I started following you a few months ago on all of your social media platforms. Your info is so helpful. I have one quick question I can't find the answer to on any of your videos. I'm a country artist. I also have several blogs. I do holiday blogs, and then I also do a blog every week where I feature someone's service, someone or their service every week to give them a special shout out, kind of like paying it forward. Originally, I started the blogs to bring people to my music website, hopefully so that they would look into my music. What I have found is that people like me as a blogger. I have a lot of different topics that I talk about, and I'm also a nurse practitioner that is involved in skincare line. So I do health and wellness blogs too. So my question is, if I want to bring my blogs to YouTube, should I have different YouTube channels for one for the holiday stuff, one for the music, and one for the skincare nutrition stuff? Okay. She goes on to say that she feels like she's stuck and she's frozen to move on with any of the advice that people are giving her on how to grow on social media without knowing how to proceed. And Marie, that is a very real fear. That is something that we've all had to figure out at one point or another. And like you, I actually have several different professions. I am a social media educator. I'm a best-selling fiction author. I do photography and design. I do things in different platforms. So let's back this train up just a little bit. You are a country singer. That's fantastic. And I know some people you should meet. I have read that you are into the skincare. I've read you're doing holiday blogs. I read that you are doing shout outs for entrepreneurs, kind of like a pay it forward thing where you're highlighting these different businesses within your different blogs. Now, the question I have for you and for everyone watching comes down to, what do these things have in common? Are people who are going to like your country music also going to like your holiday blog? Are all of your music listeners going to like that holiday blog? Or let's reverse that. Are all the people who are following you for holiday specific content also going to hang out on your music? Yes and no. You're going to have a lot of crossover with this. You will have people who do like both your music and the blog work that you are doing, but is it going to be a little bit confusing if you jump into the world of country music and you've got a country music YouTube channel and then all of a sudden you've got holiday stuff and all of a sudden you are promoting other people and all of a sudden you are doing skincare? For me, as a consumer of your videos or whatever platform you're creating, that becomes a very confusing place. And I don't really know what you do. Do you do skincare? Do you do country music? Or do you kind of just throw all sorts of things into this? As someone who is looking for something very, very specific, if I see that you're all over the place on a YouTube channel, an Instagram page, of whatever, I'm not really going to know what you're doing. I'm going to be pretty unsure of where you stand and why you're important and valuable to me. So if I'm someone who is an avid country music fan and I love country music, do I want your holiday content interrupting my love of your music? Probably not. And if I am someone who is there to learn about skincare and health and nutrition, do I want your country music invading my space? Does that make sense? If I'm there looking at you with your content, what you're doing to teach me about skincare or to teach me about holidays or to shout out some really cool entrepreneurs, do I want other things invading that space? That becomes a brick wall that I have just slammed into. And all of a sudden, if I am here because of one reason and I start getting other things, that's kind of like shouting at me from a different location. That's kind of like inserting a commercial into my TV show. That's kind of like all of a sudden switching that conversation on me. And at that point, do I really want to be involved in this? Is it worth it to see all the extra noise on your channel to find the one thing that I do want? When it comes to this, I highly recommend that you keep your content separate. Yes, it means a little extra work. Yes, it means that you are going to have to do multiple channels and you're going to have to upload weekly content to multiple channels. I get that it's going to be a little bit more work, but it's going to be less confusing to your people. There is a saying from Donald Miller, who writes story branding, who says, when you confuse, you lose. If people aren't sure who you are, what you're doing, what you're standing for, what you're educating on, they're going to leave. It's not going to be something that they're going to follow actively. It's going to be confusing. And when we give that confusion to people, they don't know the next step to take. They don't know what to do. It's very similar to when you are posting your links in your social media bios. If you are giving like a grouping, a listing of all your different links, people don't know where you want them to go, so they're not going to go anywhere. With your channels, you want those hyper specific people to be following you. So for your music, you want country music fans to follow you. Don't confuse them by throwing holiday stuff and skincare stuff. You don't want that. There, of course, will be some crossover with your audience and with the content you're posting. Sometimes you'll be able to give your other content a shout out. Let's just say you're doing your holiday channel, which I'm super excited about. I'm a big fan of holiday content, and you are planning, let's say, a Christmas party. And as you are showing off some of the holiday content for this Christmas party or these Christmas events, you can say, as part of this, you might want a really great soundtrack. I recommend some of this music, some of which is mine. If you want a little bit more, you can link that down below so they can check out your new holiday album. Makes sense, right? You want to make sure that any overlapping content links down in the content below, but you do not want it all in one place, because then it's just a mishmash of things that people don't really understand. They don't know why they're following you. You got to make sure you give them that very, very clear line in what you are doing with your channels. 100% in every situation, recommend that you keep your content completely separate. And yes, you'll get some crossover, and yes, that's amazing. And yes, you'll find some opportunities to promote your other channels through the content you're creating, but you want to make sure you're very, very clear and specific going forward. So Marie, here is your permission. This is what you need to hear, because you are ready to move forward. You've created platforms that people are liking. People are enjoying this. You now need to take this over to YouTube. Your permission right now is to start right this second and form different channels. Create one for each of them, and maybe start off slowly. You don't need to be creating 4 new channels in the same day. Don't do that. That's just a lot of work. It can be overwhelming, and it might lead to you potentially not getting that done. So pick one that you think is going to do really well right now. Right now, right this very second, the world is in quarantine. So I'm going to tell you, you want the most educational or the most entertaining. Pick one that is going to fill people's time, because now is the time they have time to be watching things on YouTube, and start there. Upload 1 video or 2 videos per week. No more, no less. 1 to 2 per week. And you are going to start building up your channels one at a time. I'm going to recommend you either jump into your holidays, because people right now are looking for creative ideas. They're looking for things that they can be doing to kind of celebrate at home. So you can actually do some really cool quarantine holiday content, or preparing for upcoming holidays that are right around the corner, that people might want to be doing things at home, and they have to use things that are within their home. This is going to be a great way for you to build this platform right now. Or I'm going to say, start with your music and build out content that people can be entertained by during this time, and then start to build out the rest and grow that as you go. Start small, start with 1, get 1 to 2 videos out per channel per week, and grow what you're doing, but keep those babies separate, because that is going to give a very clear vision to the people who are following you on what you're doing and why they need to be following you. Marie, thank you so much for writing in. I appreciate you coming with this question. This is something that really is plaguing a lot of people right now, what to do next and what direction to take. Always, always, always be very clear and definitive about what you're creating within your social media platforms and channels, so that people know exactly who you are and what you do, even if it's a little bit more work, because you have to then manage more than 1 account. It is 100% worth it, and it will skyrocket your growth, whereas throwing a bunch of random things in will limit your growth. All right, friends. If you've got questions, if you've got comments, if you want to know what to do within your business, drop your questions down in the comments below. I'm making videos just like this for you all the time. Plus, we're doing some bonus content during lockdown so that you can grow your businesses in profitable ways. Make sure you are coming on over to socialmediaforbosses.com, which is our live talk show and our podcast with completely unique content. You can also hit us up over at KM Robinson, where we've got tons and tons of free content about growing your YouTube channels, your Instagram, your Facebooks, all of those social media platforms that you absolutely need to be growing right now during lockdown to get a more profitable business through smart social media marketing. And of course, you can come hang out at livestreamactionplan.com, where we're teaching you how to do one really big important live stream in your business every month to grow and become more profitable. Thank you guys so much for hanging out with me today. I would love to get more of your questions answered, so let me know down below what you're struggling with so we can get you properly placed to create more profit within your business through the social media that you are working on. Thanks so much for joining me. I will see you guys again in the next surprise video where we're answering your questions and making sure we get you guys on track and a leg up on the competition so you know exactly what you're doing and you stay on top of your social media marketing game. Have a great day and stay inspired.